Hey guys, welcome to the Universal Monster.
We're doing a Universal Monster tier list.
Dude, I think I had a heart attack. That was so scary.
Okay. Good.
Good. Great.
Oh, hey, I'm still reeling back from that one. Hang on.
Oh my god. Okay. Good. Alright.
Ah. It's still inflamed and rashy.
So the tier list, Taylor.
Cut that out, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what? Well, welcome to the Universal, the classic Universal monster tier list. Now, to clarify, we're not ranking the films. We're just ranking like the subjects of those films. You dig? So we're gonna admit like right away that there's, I want to say 3 that we're unsure of, like where they're from. We have a guess, but that's as good as it's gonna get. But the majority of this, I mean, like, I would say 90% of this.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, like 90% of this, we are aware of who it is. There's just like, I want to say like 2 or 3 that we're gonna have to guess. So, just, if we're big dumb guys and we missed something very obvious, just leave us a comment that says we're idiots, and that'll be fine.
I have to say, I know we're just doing it based on monsters.
Yeah.
But on a couple of these, I'm gonna have to let my bias of whether I like or dislike the movie influence where I would put them.
That's fine.
Because that's just not something I can turn off.
Right, and I know you've seen all of these films before, so I'm not...
the ones with the monsters I know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, like, bitch out and be like, Taylor, we have to be objective about this. Like...
this is objective. This is the official tier list.
Yeah, this is the official 100% authentic, irrefutable. If any executive from Universal comes out and says this is wrong, then they're...
Then I'm gonna go to their home and slap him in the left nut.
They're actually lying. Alright, let's get started. First up is Bride of Frankenstein. Taylor, how do you feel about Bride of Frankenstein?
I think the monster itself, I like the design. I like the white on the hair.
Yeah, that's...
I like the way the monster moves.
One of the
I'm
things.
already gonna have to let my influence from the movies. It was a really good movie. It is on par with Frankenstein.
I don't know that I've ever seen Bride of Frankenstein, but I was gonna say that one of the things that we should consider is the fact that I don't think a lot of people have seen Bride of Frankenstein, but everybody knows who it is. And like one of the things that you brought up was the white streak in the hair. Everybody knows that. I think about how many times that's been used in, like... Yeah,
everyone, like, if you haven't seen Bride of Frankenstein, you've seen A Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, I think Bride of Frankenstein is a situation with, like, people that don't even watch wrestling know who, like, they know who...
Cena.
Yeah, they know John Cena. They know Hulk Hogan.
The Rock? I saw him in theaters.
Yeah, The Rock. Stone Cold.
When I was a kid, I knew who Undertaker was, and I didn't give a shit about wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. My first experience with wrestling was, I think I was like 13, maybe, something like. And, I was like...
Chance buying 2K.
Right. But I knew who The Undertaker was. But I think Bride of Frankenstein is a similar situation, so...
Yeah, so...
Now...
I would say the movie is on par with Frankenstein. Monster recognizability...
Still,
a word.
I think it's... Yeah, I don't think...
A.
I was gonna say A, and the reason I was gonna say A is because I have a very specific monster in mind, because one of the things that you said about letting your bias for the film seep into your ranking, I think is one of the things that kind of pushes a very particular monster into S for me, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with me, but it's one of those things where I want to keep the S tier as thin as possible, because S is like, it literally can't be any higher. And
yeah, like,
we'll get there, we'll get there. So we're saying A. I agree. I do actually agree with that. I think A is good.
You have seen my room here.
Yeah.
You know I've got those Universal Monster little toys.
Yeah.
Marx figures.
Yeah, from like forever ago. Yeah. Was that...
I was going somewhere with it, and I lost it halfway when I was trying to see where I put them all.
Okay.
Fuck, did I put Dracula?
Let's move on for now.
Okay. Dracula's gone.
Next is Creature from the Black Lagoon.
A.
Alright, no arguments.
He looks so cool.
He's cool. He's really cool. He's very cool.
He's a creepy fishman. He goes blub blub blub.
Dude, Lovecraft would be shitting his pants right now.
Oh, what's that? An interracial couple?
Better write another novel about fishmen.
What is that, air conditioning in my apartment? How unnaturally cold!
Up next, Dracula himself.
S.
I can't disagree. I think...
there are 3 on here. I am going to argue for S.
There is 1 on here that I'm going to hard argue for S. And there are a couple...
you said we'd probably agree?
Yeah, I think we'll agree. In regards to arguing for S, there's 1 on here that I am hard arguing for S. The other ones that I'm considering for S, I would only put in S if you were like, oh yeah, that's S. Then I'd be like, yeah, I could definitely see that. Dracula's one of them. So, I could definitely...
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucking Dracula. Like, I
everyone
understand.
knows him.
I understand that
He was in an Adam Sandler movie.
Jesus Christ. I was gonna say, I know that he didn't originate with the Universal Monster film. Dracula's first appearance was the Bram Stoker novel, right?
I think most of these were based off of novels.
Stoker.
I think it's Bram, but I say Bram.
However the fuck you say that name.
I've got it. I've got it right next to me.
Yeah, I know, and you read it because Zach told you that you would never read it because you're
So you're not gonna read it.
Because you're a fucking idiot. I think he said that. I think he said that exact quote. He said, Taylor, listen up. Your IQ, I could count on my fingers, and you would never finish Dracula.
Yeah, he said it because I don't typically enjoy books, but I picked up Dracula after reading like 3 other books in succession because they looked interesting.
Right. And then he said, you'll never read it. You're like, fuck you, guy. I'm gonna read this entire thing tonight.
Fuck you, I'm gonna read it again.
Alright. Next up is Phantom of the Opera.
I have never been a fan, personally.
I'm gonna agree. I was honestly gonna say either...
I would put him in C.
I was gonna say C or D, one of the two. And here's the thing.
He might...
The Phantom of the Opera mask is honestly way more iconic than the guy. And that's
for sure.
But the problem is that I don't think I would consider the mask part of the monster's design, because the whole point is him getting to take off the mask.
But it's integral. It's like Jason takes off the mask, but it's still an iconic part of the character.
Yeah, but is the mask of the Phantom of the Opera, like,
it's more famous than his face.
Okay, but here's my point, right? The whole Jason Voorhees saga is not leading up to him taking off his mask.
I guess that's fair. See, I was gonna say I put him in C because I don't really care. But like, if a Phantom of the Opera fan came up to me and they argue his virtues, you might convince me he deserves B. But there's no one here like that, so I'm sticking with C.
I'd say C tier. Sorry, Phantom of the Opera fans.
Sorry.
Next
I
is
don't care.
Frankenstein's monster.
S.
S. Yeah, that's S.
S. Was that the hard yes?
No,
Hard S?
it's actually not.
Oh.
It's actually
Well, I'm
not.
glad we agreed on 2.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we'll agree on 3 out of 3, but that the other one might be a hard argue. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
Next is the Invisible Man.
Growing up, he was my favorite of all of them.
Really?
I loved the movie. I loved the character. My dad got me a little action figure of him, and if I was a better, smarter kid, I would have taken care of it, and it would be worth money now. But it's probably rotting off in Rumpke somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I've grown in appreciation for these other ones. I would throw him in the bottom of A. Because he's not, like, as big as the others.
Now,
But, like,
I
I encourage anyone to watch the movie. It's
oh
not
yeah,
the new one.
the original Invisible Man is a good film. Now I think we're close. I was gonna say he's a solid B tier for me.
If you don't want to put him in A, do me a favor and don't put anyone above him in B.
That's fine. We can do top of B, 100%. I just don't think he's on the same level as, like, you know, those two. The two that are in A, I don't think he's
Yeah,
on
like
the
I said, that's
same.
my personal bias.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm trying to be reasonable.
Yeah, I think he's top B. I think right here is fine. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So next we have what we're almost 100% positive is Helsing, and
We're reasonably certain.
I'm not super sure why he's even on this list, but
can I be honest?
yeah,
He was in Dracula, right? He was in the movie.
he's in. Ooh, I was gonna say he's either in Dracula or like the sequel that came right after, which I think is Dracula's daughter. I don't think he's in Dracula's daughter. I think he's in Dracula.
I do not remember this man. I do not remember him in the movies. Granted, I haven't seen most of these since I was children.
He's not a monster.
Child.
He's not a monster.
You know what? Put him in Del Rio tier.
Nah,
he's not a monster.
No.
He's not a monster. This is the monster list.
Yeah, that was
Del Rio tier.
No. Listen. Listen. I think he's F. I don't want to go so far to put him in Del Rio tier, bro.
F is bad monsters. He's not even a monster. So on your drink tier list, would you put a fucking Snickers bar in F tier? That's not even a drink.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, you've convinced me. All right, down you go.
Fuck you, Helsing. Anime sucks.
Yeah, honestly.
That's a
not even just the Helsing anime, just anime in general.
Yeah,
it goes in Del Rio.
The only good anime is Speed Racer.
The original, of course. Not that new shit.
Talking about Generation X.
I'm talking about he's
driving the Mach 6.
I'm talking about he's going over that cliff.
He's going over that cliff.
I'm talking about that one clip that never fails to make me laugh, where it's just recycled animations and it cuts to Racer X. He's only on screen for like a second and a half, and the narrator has to say, "Oh, no, this is Speed Racer, his long lost brother, Racer X."
Next is Norman Bates.
I'm about as normal as Norman Bates with deformative traits. That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
He didn't say that. No, that's not a real line. No, you're lying. You made that up.
You showed me the video. That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
No, I know the coffee pot thing. There's no way that Norman Bates line is real, though.
Bro, that's in Role Model.
Okay, so Norman Bates.
He's a great character.
Yeah.
He's one that's kind of hard to place with any detachment from the movie, though.
And unlike Helsing, he is an actual monster, but he's different from some of these other ones because he's not a physical monster. You know, the creature from the Black Lagoon, that's a monster. Norman Bates is also a monster, but he's a different kind of monster.
He's Ted Bundy compared to a xenomorph. I would say, slap him up there in B tier.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man some company.
The perfect company. Norman will never see him coming.
Yeah.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Anyway, up
Mr.
next
Hyde.
is Mr. Hyde. That's right.
Never been too big on Jekyll and Hyde either, TBH.
Good NES game.
I'm sure someone would agree with you. No one in this call, but someone.
I think, personally, I think the idea of the story is far more interesting than anything that anyone's ever done with the story. I think Jekyll and Hyde could be really cool if they... Basically, I think Jekyll and Hyde could be really cool if it wasn't Jekyll and Hyde. Like, if you just rewrote the story.
You fucked up your IP if the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is the best your character has ever been.
Yeah,
I didn't much care for the movie. I'd throw him in C.
I was gonna say D tier, honestly.
I think he's worse than Phantom.
Yeah, at least Phantom of the Opera is it's a competent story. Jekyll and Hyde doesn't really end in any kind of meaningful way. It just kind of stops.
There just isn't a story.
Yeah, it's just kind of a series of events that happen.
Slice of life horror.
It's like these things happen, and it's like, here's events 1 through 6. All right, see ya. And it's like,
it's slice of life horror, which sounds like it could be really interesting as a concept,
but the way that they do it isn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say D. Like.
Yeah, I'll cave.
I think D. Yeah.
That's not a hill I'm willing to die on.
the Mr. Hyde. No, this guy is great. You need to reconsider your position.
He is C tier.
He's clearly middle of the pack. Fuck you. He's average.
Mr. Hyde's the type of dude that would come in 3rd place in a mediocrity contest.
Damn, bruh.
Stole that one from Yahtzee. Anyway, Igor.
Dude, I love Yahtzee. He goes, this game is worse than Analogy. Igor, from fucking... Dongle of Frankenstein. I think he's cool.
Igor deserves A.
He's got a big shovel.
If we're going based on iconic, like we did with Bride of Frankenstein, Igor deserves A.
Yeah, but
there are more Igor parodies than there are Bride.
Right, but they're all over the place. If you're doing a Bride of Frankenstein thing, it's gonna look a particular way, whereas Igor can look a bunch of different ways. He has like a theme, but as long as it's within that theme, you can basically do whatever you want. That's why sometimes Igor has like a big eye.
Yeah, he's malleable.
No, but I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with you that he is A tier, because I think he is absolutely A tier, but I'm saying he's definitely lower than either Bride or Creature, because his...
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
is like, his core identity is not nearly as strong as those two, which is why people, when they parody those two, it's always the same. And of course, but the reason... Because someone's going to be like, well, what about Dracula? Okay, the reason that Dracula is different now is because of Castlevania. Castlevania is more popular than any Dracula property was pre-Castlevania, and so the whole, like, more high fantasy style of Dracula is because of that.
Okay, Jack, on that note, Bela Lugosi Dracula looks nothing like they described him in the novel. Castlevania actually, like, they flip through the book, they're like, okay, that's what he looks like.
Yeah. They got the instead of the slick back hair and the fucking whatever.
It's long.
Yeah, he's got
He's
real
got the
long
facial hair.
Yeah, he's got real long
got a
hair.
hook
He's got the
nose.
beard. He's got the nose. But I was saying like Dracula being like the fucking turbo Satan hellfire powers, whatever. That's from Castlevania rather than the actual novel.
Yeah.
Like the super
Can I
high
say-
fantasy is from Castlevania. What's up?
Yeah. While we're on the subject of Dracula, I unironically think Hotel Transylvania did a really good job. Because it kept the cape and the slick back hair of Lugosi and the one everyone's familiar with. But he's got the nose of Novel and he moves around like Dracula.
Yeah. He moves all spooky.
Like, I just... Like, that entire movie up until the ending rap is really fucking good.
And then they made like 4 others.
Yeah, I saw 2. 2 was fun.
Eh.
I do like Mavis and her husband. I think that's a fun dynamic.
I've seen a lot of drawings of Mavis.
Luckily, I haven't.
People like to draw Mavis a lot. I think it's because
She's a goth girl.
She's goth, yeah. All right. So Igor, bottom A. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Next is fucking Cryptman.
This is where my movie bias goes in hard. I fucking hate the Mummy. Universal Mummy sucks my nuts. The only good thing they ever did was the hot chick Mummy in the new one, and the Brandon Fraser movie was kind of alright.
Brendan Fraser. Okay, I'm gonna be fucking unpopular gaming opinion here, right?
Right.
Brendan Fraser Mummy is, I think, unironically good. And
I
and
agree.
One,
it had that scene with the Beatles under the skin.
Honestly, one of the best parts of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser isn't even from The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. It's from when he did the Looney Tunes movie, and they have that whole thing about parodying Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, where Brendan Fraser is playing himself and also the guy in the Looney Tunes movie, and he talks to himself and thinks he's an asshole.
That's pretty funny.
It's
I haven't seen
it's
it back in
really
years.
it's so funny. I honestly really like that scene. And people say that movie's bad, and I'm not gonna argue that. I'm just saying that one scene in particular is really fucking hilarious, where Brendan Fraser thinks his own self is an egotistical asshole. I think it's great.
But we're not talking. Yeah,
we're not
this
talking
list
Brendan
isn't
Fraser
about
Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
This is old ass.
We're not talking about shitty. We're not talking about shitty CGI Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
We're not talking
fuck
about
no.
legitimately unsettling scene of Beatles under your skin.
Yeah.
That still gets me, even if the effects aren't great. We're talking about Universal Mummy. That movie blows my nuts.
And the Mummy.
D.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna say. Okay. I'm gonna say Cryptman goes in D. And Mummy goes in F. And the reason I'm saying Cryptman goes in D is because I'm with you. I don't like anything about that movie, and I think the Mummy as a monster is really lame and boring and very uninteresting. But hold on. But the picture of like the single shot of Cryptman doing the face that he's doing in that picture is like it's just good. I really like that.
That's
that
Karloff,
imagery.
isn't it?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he played Cryptman and Mummy.
Okay. Yeah.
Karloff
I think
is good.
It is. Yeah. The
Mummy sucks.
Nothing against him. I don't think it's his fault. Honestly, like.
I mean, he's dead. He can't be mad.
Yeah, but I don't want to disrespect the guy. I mean, he did a lot of good shit. I really don't think it's his fault. I think there's a lot of factors that add into it.
And we have to say, like, the top 5 we have there, popularity has to do with part of their placement. Yeah, The Mummy is a popular parody. What do you remember about the movie?
Yeah.
What part of the Universal Mummy movie do they parody in all the other things?
Well,
that
this is the thing, is I think at the top 5 right there, their popularity plays into it, but it's not all-encompassing. I think at the end of the day, if we think it's shit, then I'm gonna rank it shit, you know? Whether people like it or not, I'm gonna do it. I love the idea of Helsing, but he's not a monster, so to bottom he goes, you know?
Right.
That has nothing to do with the guy.
Mummy. Yeah, my point as far as Mummy being popular is that no one gives a shit about Universal Mummy. What they do is they just wrap some guy in toilet paper and say, "Oh, look, he's a mummy, huh?"
Also, here's one of the other things to consider, right? I'm just throwing this out there for consideration, right? Dracula, when he's in other properties, is always his own thing. Frankenstein's monster is always his own thing. The creature is always his own thing. Invisible Man is the Mummy is usually like an enemy type as opposed to his own thing. You know what I mean? Like when you think of a mummy, I'm not saying mummies are ever used as like trash mobs in games or whatever, but they're never like the main thing, you know?
Yeah, it's the way they are a mummy, not the mummy.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly a fair point. I think it's legitimately a fair point. So, okay, next is Nosferatu.
S.
Okay, well, there you go. This is the one that I was gonna hard argue is S, and this is the only part that I think I might have to hard argue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Nosferatu is realistically, if we're including popularity into this, and we are, I don't think I can put him above Dracula as much as I would like to. But I do think he belongs above Frankenstein's monster.
This is another thing where my bias of the movies comes in.
Yeah, but this is what
because,
I'm saying. But I'm saying that too. I think Nosferatu is unironically like it's so fucking good. Everybody knows.
Like, watch the movie.
Everybody knows the scene, the single shot of him going up the stairs. Oh, everybody knows that shit.
Yeah, the movie is good. The monster, he looks creepy. Not just by the standards of when the movie comes out. Look at him.
He's fucking great.
He's unsettling.
Also,
but
bonus,
he was also in SpongeBob.
I was gonna say he's in SpongeBob. He was flickering the lights.
I know, like when I saw that for the first time as a kid, I was losing my shit, pointing at the TV like, Dad, that's Nosferatu. And that's like the only episode of SpongeBob my dad likes.
The hash-slinging slasher. Where's he? Where's the hash-slinging slasher?
He's not on the list.
This is bullshit.
He's not Universal.
He's a classic Universal monster.
Classic Universal.
But yeah, I actually think... Okay, so I want to preface by saying, personally, I think, at least in this form, I think Nosferatu is better than Dracula. Obviously, if we're including the ideas of other properties, then Dracula's like one of the most iconic things in all of fiction. Significantly more than... He's a very
famous IP.
Yeah, significantly more famous than Nosferatu is. But, that being said, I think that Nosferatu absolutely belongs above Frankenstein's monster.
This is part of where my movie bias comes in.
Right, you said that.
Because I think Frankenstein is probably the strongest movie of all of these. But, since we also have to consider we are just looking at the monsters, Frankenstein looks iconic but boring. And Nosferatu looks He just looks good.
Yeah. Also, if it helps,
He's a good-looking boy.
if it helps, I think Nosferatu is probably the best movie on here. So that can, like, balance that out.
I like the tragic story of Frankenstein monster.
I just think the cinematography of Nosferatu is the best.
It was good, but it didn't have the
God,
advantage
it's so
of, like,
good.
acting that Frankenstein did. It doesn't have him befriending a little girl and a blind man and then getting chased out by the town and hitting you right in the feels. You're like,
I mean, it's a different
happiness.
It's a different story, for sure.
I think there was literally no voices in Nosferatu either.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's totally silent. But the thing that I think, look, I think Frankenstein was more of a, like, what Frankenstein is more of what they would call a picture, whereas Nosferatu is a film.
That sounded so fucking pretentious, but I'm inclined to agree with you.
I know, it definitely does, but it's...
Oh my, just put on your fucking beret, why don't you? Go to a coffee shop or something and type your novella.
God, I wish. Nah, I gotta work for a living. Anyway, there's probably gonna be a lot.
Fuck you, Yahtzee!
At some point in the future, there's gonna be a lot of people mad at me for saying that. I think this is where Nosferatu belongs. I can't, look, as much as I would like to, I can't in good, like, faith put him above Dracula. I think it's...
I know, but I would like to say, for the record, this is a good placement, but without Nosferatu, the Lugosi film would not exist, and then he wouldn't be as popular as
That's
he is.
true. That's also that's definitely true. So, all right, we got to move on. We got to move on though. Okay, next is what we're pretty sure is the what's it called? Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Yeah, we're pretty sure.
I am convinced. No, I'm convinced it's not him. But that color is the exact same as scenes in that film. And it's one of the few on here I have not seen.
We should definitely watch Caligari sometime.
Have you seen it? Is it good?
I haven't, but I've seen a lot of stills from it, and it looks so different from everything, it just looks so different from all of its contemporaries. I can't even,
sometimes just the way a movie looks can keep you engaged.
Yeah.
Even if Caligari turns out to be just a boring slog of the film, those clips I've seen just look good.
Yeah, they do look good for sure. All right.
Anyway, it's my turn to be pretentious.
Where do we put him?
If it is Caligari, above Phantom of the Opera. If it's not, above Hyde.
I think we put him above Phantom of the Opera just so that he's at sea, because we're not exactly sure if we're correct on it, but guaranteed no matter what, he's got to be better than everything. He's got to be better than Phantom of the Opera, and he's definitely better.
He can't be worse than the Mummy.
Yeah, so I think this is.
I don't know what this Beta Babadook design is, but it has to be better than the Mummy.
All right, next is. I think we said that this is the guy from Son of Dracula.
Did it turn out that he was Alucard? Or was Alucard just actually Dracula, but they were trying to make it sneaky?
I want to say back then, the whole idea was that Dracula would travel around portraying himself as a man named Alucard, and then at some point, the fact that Dracula had a son and the fact that he traveled around as Alucard got, mixed together, because I remember a lot of stuff involving Dracula calling himself Alucard.
Yeah,
but
the actual movie...
I'm not an old-ass man.
In Son of Dracula, where Alucard came from, Alucard is literally just Dracula.
Yeah, because it's Dracula, but in a mirror.
Yeah, or something.
But, yeah.
I saw that.
I'm inclined to put him in Del Rio
tier,
tier, honestly.
Yeah, this guy. Fuck him. Put him above Helsing though, because at least he looks creepy.
Yeah. There you go. Next is the Wolfman.
Can I tell you a funny little thing about me and Wolfman?
Sure.
To this day, I have not watched that movie through to completion.
Why?
Well, we started it many a time, and I would always fall asleep right before the end as a kid.
Ah.
We would start the movie at like 8 o'clock, and then I'd be zonked out before I see him get shot with the silver bullet. But I've always liked him.
Yeah, I think he's like the original werewolf in film, isn't he?
As far as I know.
Yeah, I can't think of another one before him. It's not the same, but when I was a kid, one of the scariest things I ever saw was the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and that shit terrified me as a child. Because I remember getting it at the library, and my parents being like, "You're probably not old enough to handle this," and I was like, "Yeah, I can handle it." And then I saw it, and
I'm a big boy.
Yeah, I lost my shit for like, I want to say like 3 months. I had nightmares about that film. It spooked me out.
I've never heard of it.
B?
I would put him above Norman, but in the years it's been since I've seen it, I've learned what furries are. So I'm gonna have to dock points for that.
Alright, that's fair. Here, bada bing?
Yeah.
Alright, that sounds good. Next,
okay, full disclosure.
Yeah, we
don't
legitimately
know what the fuck that is, but I like it.
Before we started the tier list, we spent a while making sure we knew what the majority of these were, because it's been a long time since I've seen some of these films. This one, I legitimately have no idea. I have no idea what this is. I'm kind of indifferent to the design. I'm very indifferent about this.
I think the extent of my interaction with that creature is seeing it in the openings of some of those Monster Madness videos. So I don't remember anything about any movie it might have been from, but I like it. I would slap him below Wolfman.
Let's put him at top of C.
I can agree to that.
Yeah. Let's put him here. Okay, next is the alien guy from That Island Earth, right?
This Island Earth.
This Island Earth, right. I think he's cool.
I like the design.
You know what he kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of the guys from fucking...
Mars Attacks?
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was about to say. I think it's the brain. I don't know, he looks like a combination of, like, Man Ray, the aliens from Mars Attacks, and fucking Zurg from Toy Story.
Toy Story. Okay, my thing is This Island Earth. I saw a Mystery Science Theater of it, but I never watched the movie without that background. And I'm pretty sure, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that's where the I'm Cherokee Jack character came from. And for some reason, I just thought them making fun of Cherokee Jack, this just white-ass man, saying he's Cherokee, was so funny. My dad printed off a sticker of that scene and placed it on a little box for me.
Nice.
And I have it right here. It has all my old belt buckles in it from when I was a cool kid.
From when you said you had a Webkins just to watch it die.
Yeah, I was the coolest kid.
A real cool kid.
Oh shit, they know I had a it was a Neopets.
Neopets, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, they know I like Neopets, how can I save this? I just wanted to watch them die. Yeah, now they'll think I'm cool.
How old were you, by the way? Like 10?
12.
Okay, yeah, so that
12 when I said that, 10 when I actually had Neopets.
Oh, okay. Well, that checks out, then.
Acceptable Neopets age.
Yeah, but also acceptable age to be saying shit like that and not look like a total psychopath. Like, if you said that when you were, like, 16, that's gonna be a little weird.
Taylor, why do you wear all black?
Okay, so I want to put him. I honestly
like him.
I like him. I do like him. I think he's really interesting.
I think he's very fun. I'd say bottom B.
I'm gonna say bottom B, and the reason that I'm gonna say bottom B is because even though I think he looks fun, I think if they made one now, it would look really bad, and it would complete. This is the kind of thing that would only work before
as a rubber suit.
You have to. This is an old monster, and making him now is a bad idea. It's like I get the same vibe from him that I did when we went to see Aquaman, and you were like, "Oh, I can't wait to see fucking Black Manta or whatever he was." And I saw him on screen, and I immediately said, "This guy looks stupid as fuck." And you were like, "No, he's cool.
You.
He's got a laser." And
Black Manta looked cool.
His helmet is so dumb, dude. It's so fucking
Black
bad
Manta
looking.
Looked cool.
He looked lame as hell.
You look lame.
That's not incorrect, but it doesn't change my opinion on it. I think Black
You're
Manta
not
looks
changing my
fucking
feelings.
bad. This guy, I think, would be
What do you
would
know?
be the same. I think this guy would be the same. I think if they made him now, I would think he looked stupid. But since he's from before, and he's got the camp, and he's got the old. I don't know. There's something cool about having like an old vibe to you. You just don't want to ruin it by making a new one.
It's a certain creature design that does not work post Lost in Space era.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think I think there's a place for that, but that place was in the past, and definitely not now.
And I think creatures like I personally haven't watched Doctor Who, but like Daleks, they look kind of dumb.
Yeah, Daleks are the same.
Because it's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Because it's still the same IP. You can be like, yeah,
it's
I
Daleks.
know those things.
But honestly, you're not wrong. The Daleks look really like if Daleks hadn't existed before, right? And something came out now where their big bad robot enemy looked like a Dalek, you'd get fucking laughed off the face of the earth. They look bad. They look very lame and incompetent. And to be fair, in the show, they're very lame and incompetent.
Not like the Borg.
Yeah, definitely not like the Borg. How do we beat the Borg?
That's Star Trek, right?
I got a bad copy of Windows 98. We plugged it on a USB and they lose. Gonna be honest, Star Trek has some cool ideas, but the Borg being their ultimate mega big bad, constantly being defeated by like the exact same thing over and over, gets old very quickly.
Also, Wesley Crusher kind of sucks.
His mom's hot though.
Oh yeah. I don't think she's as hot as that blonde chick that died in the first season.
Oh, Tasha Yar? She was the security chief that Worf took over for?
Yeah, she had the short blonde hair.
Yeah, Tasha, you're absolutely right. Tasha Yar was a real fiery.
Yeah, also,
fiery lady.
Why did they never give Geordie LaForge his like own episode that wasn't upstaged by someone else?
That's a good question that I can't really
I know
answer.
It's because he's black, but like, why?
There's no books on the Enterprise.
He's great.
He got his own television show.
That wasn't Geordie LaForge. It was the actor.
It was Geordie LaForge. He was in the holodeck. How'd we get on fucking
Geordie
Star Trek?
LaForge,
This is Universal Monster movies.
Because we talked about Doctor Who and the Daleks and how they look stupid like that alien. And
No, I know how we got here. I'm using that as hyperbole. Anyway,
I hate fun, so...
This is the monster tier list. You have anything to say to the people before we dip out?
I think we both need therapy for our childhoods.
Besides that, I'm not including that part.
Send Jack as many toe pics as you want.
No, do not. I don't want them.
He loves it.
You can send them to Taylor. His email address is
No.